I do identify as European. As a matter of fact, I mean, I born in '84, still in the communist period, but ever since I remember my political identity, or actually any identity, I would think that I would think of myself as a European, as somebody from Bratislava, my hometown, Slovakia, but of course, as somebody from Europe. That I actually never gave it too much thought. It was, yes, I'm that generation of Central Eastern Europeans to which it became somehow instinctively. There was a moment, obviously, when I was a kid, and when we first went, what's then been called the West still, and to Germany in particular. I think I was there on a vacation with my parents near a lake in Germany, and I got actually to ride the motorboat on the lake, which was like amazing. And obviously, then it was my birthday, and my parents gave me this terrible gift of having the opportunity to choose what I want in a supermarket or in a hypermarket store, basically a kids store in Munich. And I remember that it was absolute agony because there was so much stuff that I couldn't choose it. I simply cried and I was almost and my parents and I would always look back on it. That was the moment when I don't think it's that much to do with Europe, but it has to do with capitalism. That was my moment as a kid from the Eastern Bloc. We discovered the capitalist way of life. But yeah, I mean, I would have to think that my formative moment, and that I was a bit older then, but was going to the UK to study and meeting all the Europeans from all sorts of countries that were there, and actually recognizing that I'm one of them, and in many ways very similar with my aspirations and what I want to do, and that was probably that was in the UK, yeah. Well, I would have to say Brexit was the moment in European history. It was, I don't take politics all that seriously, in terms of emotionally, normally, but the morning after the referendum, that was really emotional. Even sort of tears were cried and stuff. That was the worst moment in recent European history, as far as I can remember, or as far as I can register that. And perhaps it was influenced by the fact that my sort of window to Europe was the UK. In fact, my formative European experience wasn't France, it wasn't Germany, it wasn't Spain, it was the UK. So for me, UK was my Europe, and yes, the moment of Brexit was pretty devastating. I would have to say that although I was very young at the time, but the moment of enlargement was to me Europe at its best, and it was also, even beyond enlargement, it was also the moment when the EU felt the most confident. It was before the whole referenda on the constitutional treaty and everything, and at that point it still seemed that the future is for us to make, for Europe to capture, and that must have been the best moment. May 2004 must have been the best moment of the EU, or at least in my lifetime. Of course, I'd say in practical terms that it was, the ability to study, travel, but I don't think it's a single thing. I think it's, and maybe this is again specific for somebody who's from Slovakia, and because throughout the 1990s, it was a very difficult period in Slovakia where it seemed like we could have ended up like Belarus, it was really hanging by a thread whether my country will become a democracy with all the rights of citizens and rule of law and all that, or it could easily went the other way around. And for me, the EU and being part of it gives me that sense of security and that guarantee, also psychologically, that this could never happen. That at least my rights, my country's democratic future is secured as long as it is in the European Union. And of course, there are all sorts of other benefits, practical, economic, intellectual, whatever, but I guess this fundamental sense that nothing wrong in terms of, say, a breakdown of our institutions can happen while we're in the EU. That's something that my country has never had in history, and it feels quite good to say. Many things, of course, but I think the Green Deal would be the thing, and not just because of what it is, because we have to save the planet, and we have to lead by example, and we have to transform our economy and all that. That's one thing, but I also think that because the aims are so ambitious and the targets are so daring in a way, that we have to meet them also to feel that that confidence that the European Union can actually achieve stuff if it sets its mind onto it. I think that the failure would be devastating, not simply because we would have failed to slow down global warming or whatever, but also because it would be another huge psychological blow to what now seems to be the story that Europe is to tell for the future. And if we fail on this, then that would have, So I think getting it right, getting the Green Deal right, I think is the most important thing for the EU for 2030.